Head of service, you have a closing.
Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please.
This is an ambush by the head of service, but being the head of service, let us concede.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir. Honorable Chairman, sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I just want to make a point here that the reinstatement of Maina was never activated, and this is actually evidenced by the letter on page 29. Page 29. Inasmuch as the Federal Civil Service Commission, letter number 29, that's the letter from Federal Civil Service Commission to the head of Civil Service of the Federation, dated 7th November 2017. And I would just want to go to the third paragraph 3. Paragraph 3, Roman 2, that the letter reinstating Maina has not, in fact, please pardon me, let me read paragraph 3, 2 and 3. The Federal Civil Service Commission extensively deliberated on the circumstance that brought Mr. Maina back into service, and also Mr. President's directive that he be disengaged from service with immediate effect. Consequently, the Commission resolved to reaffirm its earlier decision dismissing Mr. Maina from the service with effect from 21st February 2013. In arriving at this decision, the Commission noted, one, that all along the Commission had considered the administrative aspect of the case in accordance with the PSR 030413, which is punishable by dismissal, and 2, that the letter reinstating Mr. Maina has not been delivered, and therefore the reinstatement has not been effected. So I'm confirming here, sir, that so far as the letter was never delivered to Mr. Maina, he stands dismissed. He was never reinstated into the service. And with this, the Commission also approved that the earlier letter of reinstatement issued in respect of Mr. Maina through the Office of Head of Service, which was not delivered until date has not been delivered, be returned to the Commission. So I am confirming here, Honorable Chairman, sir, that Mr. Maina has not been reinstated into the civil service. So far as the letter of reinstatement was never endorsed and delivered to him, the letter will now, when the sitting gives approval, be returned officially back to the Civil Service Commission. And I want to also place on record that I, as the head of Civil Service of the Federation, will never have released that letter to Mr. Maina. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, the head of service of the Federation. Honorable Minister, other invited guests, like I have earlier said, all those who took us today are hereby discharged of the oath.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
There is who is that?
It's from the Council of Maina. You are here.
You can't come here and say that.
With due respect,
we'll ask them to take you out. We have given you opportunity to speak.
No. We are not being fairly treated in this matter. We are not being fairly treated. We are being tried to be stampeded. No, we are saying no.
You are saying no?
Yes, you cannot be stampeded. How will you give everyone a chance to discuss and talk? And we are trying to be pushed into a corner. That was exactly what happened in the Senate in 2012. And we will resist it. Give us chance, please. Give us chance to
Please. You have something to say?
Please, yes, we do.
Talk.
We do.
Talk. But hold on, please.
Let me be your oath, please. Let me be your oath.
No. Who are you?
Let me be your oath.
Hold on. Who? Please, are you the lawyer to Mr. Maina? Are you his lawyer?
I'm a member of the task team.
Eh?
I'm a member of the task team.
Sit down. Sit down. So, the solicitor to Mr. Maina, the solicitor.
Yes, sir.
Do you have something to add? Do you have something to add on behalf of Mr. Maina?
Yes, my lord. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have something to add? Please, yes?
Yes. Yes, just minimally. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to make it very clear. This is the parliament. We sent invitation. Maina sent someone who is here to speak for him. Please, we do not encourage rented crowd coming here to shout on behalf of anybody. What we are doing is a serious business. Thank you.
Let me, on behalf of persons that appear with me, apologize to the honorable members on whatever has happened. But all the same, it is because of the zeal to bring the fact bear before this panel, toward assessing the panel. That is why you could see these things coming up. I appreciate your guidance. In essence, the issue of payment of salaries and dismissal of Maina, which came into floor for discussion, is of importance to his position as well. And that is why we said we want to reiterate categorically, sir, Mr. Chairman and honorable members, that the issue of his reinstatement, the issue of, first and foremost, his dismissal was because of the Senate committee warrant of arrest. That warrant of arrest necessitated him to go to court, and the court gave a judgment. In that judgment, they set aside the query that led to his dismissal. And having set aside the query that led to his dismissal, the poser is what should be his status. He has been reinstated to his earlier position. And in reinstating him to his earlier position, it means that...
Please, if I may ask, the court process, is the head of service one of the parties involved in the case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. How? I will let you know. The Attorney General has said it here that he is the one in charge of prosecuting and defending cases on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, including the agencies. So as a law enforcement agent, you don't need to even sue. If you have to go to the extent of suing or joining the federal parastatals, you are just going to add what we call surplusage. So the best thing to do in law is to sue the Attorney General. Once you do that, it covers every other person, including the parastatals. So the Attorney General was a party in the Federal High Court matter, and there was a judgment, and there was letters. In the Industrial Court matter, Mr. Chairman, sir, in that, Chairman,
but that specifically,
yes,
the office of the head of service and the civil service of the Federation,
yes,
were not a party to the case. I agree. The office of the Attorney General were a party to the case.
Yes.
Yes,
thank you very much, sir. Now, in the Industrial Court, where a judgment also emanates, the head of civil service were also, and the Interior were also part of it. In that matter, before the Industrial Court, both parties agreed to go and do what we call out-of-court settlement. And in the out-of-court settlement, it was resolved that Maina will be reinstated and his emolument will be paid to him. And Maina, on his own part, agreed not to pursue his 2.1 billion naira claim, damages, by way of damages. Now, the cumulative effect of all these things is that there was a judgment. What is the content of that judgment? How was it brought into effect? How was it brought into effect? It was brought into effect by reinstating him, because the judgment was one that reinstated him, that reinstated him. And by reinstating him, what does that mean? It means you take him back to the status which you ought to have been if you have not dismissed him. And what is that status? His salaries and arrears should be calculated and should be paid to him. This is the position.
So, thank you very much.
Most obliged, sir.
This is your additional submission.
Yes, sir.
Honorable. Order, please.
Don't give them any chance.
Please, your mic. Honorable colleagues, Honorable Minister, our invited guests, we have come to the end of today's public hearing, which aims to enrich our democratic culture by removing impunity from governance and our legislature's way of aiding to fight corruption in Nigeria and impunity. On this note, I declare this public hearing today closed sine die, but we will expect submission from the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation on what transpired in his office was related to these letters in question, and from EFCC, the letter that was written to immigration. So please, we expect to hear from you soonest, and we'll write letters to you as the case comes. Thank you.